eons, New Texas was just an empty waste planet of burning desert and bare rock, until galactic prospectors discovered vast deposits of curium, one of the rarest and most valuable minerals in the universe, and vital for powering Earth's spaceships. In the great curium rush which followed, settlers came to New Texas, and after them came gangs of thieves and outlaws who terrorized the innocent townsfolk. They sent an urgent message to Earth. If law and order were to be restored, 1,000 lawmen were needed immediately. But only one arrived, a man with supernatural animal powers given to him by his ancient tribal ancestors, Marshal Bravestarr. With the aid of his faithful friend, 3030, Bravestarr takes on the evil outlaw, Tex Hex, and his gang. Bravestarr. Cave of Skulls. If there's one thing a one-horn can't stand, it's the sound of a neutralaser. Like four-legged creatures across the universe, including the fabled catfolk of Fad, it terrifies them. They run as fast as they can, anywhere. Tex Hex and his evil gang were putting the theory to the test, and it was working just fine. The herd of one-horns, confused by the neutralizers, panicked by Tex's Hexmaker, and finally petrified by Sandstorm's swirling dust clouds, were running amok.
This here's the Badlands,
Tex Hex yelled after the vanishing herd.
Go chew the cud someplace else, you varmints!
Yip, 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 Thunderstick was ranting, though by now there wasn't a one-horn in sight to hear him. Long ago, at the very beginning of time, colossal creatures called bronchosaurs roamed the ranges of New Texas, lords of an infant planet. Though dead these many eons, their spirit lived on in the evil specter of Stampede, and his henchman, Tex Hex. Tex Hex mopped his brow, an evil leer spreading across his face.
It'll take them the rest of the day to regroup the herd.
He turned to the others.
Sandstorm, you stay here. Blow up a storm if they return.
Vipra looked concerned.
You don't think they know, do you?
She asked.
Those rockheads?
Tex Hex sneered.
We'll just have to make sure no one stumbles on it by mistake. Not until we're ready. The Cave of Skulls must remain secret.
Bravestarr was taking a rare break from his duties. Two of his young admirers, Viv and Craig, both settlers' children, had invited him to go fishing at Geiger Creek, just outside town. It felt good to be taking time out. The peace was short-lived.
Bravestarr,
called 3030 as he rode up. The equestroid slowed to a halt beside the creek.
Sorry to interrupt your, what is that you're doing?
Fishing?
Fishing.
3030 repeated.
Stampede of one-horns, headed this way.
Who gave the warning?
Asked Bravestarr.
Abu,
replied 3030.
Rode over from the Chances Are ranch.
Bravestarr thought fast.
Round up every guy who can handle a neutralizer and have them get out this side of town. Fast. And the kids...
Bravestarr looked round. Viv and Craig had disappeared. He called their names, and their answer came faintly from further up the creek.
Okay, 3030. Hightail it back to town. I'll take care of the kids.
Calling on his animal spirit powers, he cried,
Speed of the Puma!
At once, the glowing image of the Puma appeared behind Bravestarr, its spirit giving him superhuman speed. It was needed. As he raced alongside the creek towards the small figures, he could already make out a fast-approaching dust cloud. Viv and Craig both looked up at the same moment and saw the danger. Before they had time to panic, Bravestarr was upon them, scooping them into his arms. The one-horns thundered ever closer to the little group. Picking up Viv and Craig and turning in one lightning movement, Bravestarr scorched the sand as he made their escape. With one-horns practically breathing down his neck, he raced toward Fort Curium. 3030 had done his job quickly and efficiently. A massed rank of neutralizers was hastily assembling. Hampered by his passengers, Bravestarr's superhuman speed had slowed, and gradually the leading one-horns were gaining on him. At the last moment, with Bravestarr about to be trampled, 3030 gave the order.
Fire!
A fusillade of neutral laser rays split the air. The one-horns faltered, turned, and stormed away in the direction they'd come. Bravestarr and the two children breathed a sigh of relief. 3030 ordered the ceasefire, and the dust began to settle.
Oh, thanks, partner.
Said Bravestarr, catching his breath.
That 21-gun salute was mighty welcome.
Anytime.
Grinned 30-30. The children added their thanks, a glow of admiration for Bravestarr in their eyes.
Anyone for a Cynthia burger?
Asked 30-30, laughing. Later at Handlebar's Cantina, over a refreshing glass of iced sweetwater, Bravestarr held a council. The incident with the onehorns had been a serious matter, and a tragedy had been narrowly averted. Abu, from the Chances Are, gave his views.
Something spook onehorns bad,
he was saying.
I leave herd grazing. They quiet beasts, you know, if leave alone. Dig roots, eat anything. Leave alone, they okay.
Where were the herd?
Asked Bravestarr.
Near Badlands,
replied Abu. Bravestarr's eyes narrowed.
Let's go take a look,
suggested Bravestarr. Abu, running easily alongside 30-30, led the way. They came upon the herd, now quietly grazing once more, halfway between Fort Kirian and the Badlands.
Wait,
said Abu.
I talked to Wacky and Jazz.
Talk to who?
Asked Bravestarr, seeing no one.
Wacky and Jazz,
said Abu.
Plenty bright onehorns.
30-30 looked puzzled.
How do you mean, talk to them?
Talk, you know,
replied Abu.
You mean telepathy?
Said Bravestarr, surprised.
Telepathy, yes,
grinned Abu.
Well, I'll be.
Laughed 30-30. Bravestarr and 30-30 watched in amazement as Abu sought out the two onehorns, Wacky and Jazz.
You ever heard of animal telepathy before?
Asked 30-30, disbelieving.
I have now,
replied Bravestarr.
We might just learn something useful, partner. Let's see.
Abu came running back.
Tex Hex,
he said simply.
Him and those no-goods. Much noise. Dust cloud, very frightened.
I thought as much,
mused Bravestarr.
Never known him get upset about a bunch of onehorns before. Let's check it out.
The Badlands was an arid, barren waste. Its only inhabitants were Tex Hex and his gang of outlaws. The hexagon, their base, was a landmark of evil. Here they plotted their schemes, and Tex Hex dreamt of ruling all of New Texas. Only the onehorn, that hardy beast which had grazed the sparsely vegetated prairies for centuries, ever ventured into the Badlands. Although even they shunned the shadow of the monstrous hexagon, those that dared go near rarely returned. Bravestarr, 30-30, and Abu pulled up in the shadow of a rocky outcrop that bordered the Badlands. Bravestarr said,
"Eye of the hawk!"
And at once, the shimmering outline of the hawk seemed to rise over him. It was one of the animal spirits passed down to him by his tribe and gave him supernaturally powerful vision. His piercing gaze scanned the wastes before them.
Sandstorm,
he cried.
He's standing guard for some reason. What are they hiding?
Abu's body stiffened. His eyes closed tight shut. He let out an involuntary shiver.
Bad feeling,
he whispered.
They don't call them the Badlands for nothing,
observed 30-30 helpfully.
Worse, much worse,
Abu went on.
Not Hex, ancient evil here.
Can you see? Can you tell what it is?
Asked Bravestarr, sensing in Abu's strange powers not dissimilar from his own. Abu seemed almost suspended in a trance. After several moments, his eyes opened wide.
Below,
he said.
Deep below.
Any prairie people burrows round here, 30-30?
Asked Bravestarr.
I don't know what it is Abu's picked up on, but I'm willing to go along with it. We should investigate.
No prairie burrow,
said Abu, interrupting.
Bronchosaur. Many, many.
30-30 stifled his laughter.
Now I've heard everything. Bronchosaurs burrowing underground. Next you'll be saying onehorns can fly.
Abu looked at the equestroid with quiet eyes.
Not burrows,
he said slowly.
Underground caves. Burial caves. You want me to show?
Following Abu's psychic sense, they soon discovered a deep fissure in the rocks. The big equestroid was too bulky to fit through the gap.
No problem, partners,
said 30-30, beginning to disassemble himself before their eyes.
Only take a minute.
Hold your horses, 30-30,
said Bravestarr.
We don't know how narrow it might get down there. I'd rather you stayed here to cover our retreat in case we need to beat it fast.
You're the boss,
said the equestroid, reattaching his leg. Bravestarr and Abu went on alone. Down and down they went, until the gap between the rocks began to open out. They found themselves in some sort of tunnel.
Must have been an underground river once,
said Bravestarr.
Very close now,
warned Abu.
Unless my eyes deceive me,
said Bravestarr, as they rounded a bend.
I can see light ahead, and we're down too deep for it to be...
Just then, a neutral laser blast struck the roof above them, bringing it down. Tex Hex's savage cackle rent the air as Bravestarr pulled himself clear of the rubble. Another ray smashed into the wall beside him. Bravestarr lay still and waited. As he looked out from his hiding place, an incredible sight met his eyes. A cave of gigantic proportions stretched out in all directions. On its floor, their massive forms littered everywhere, lay countless bronchosaurs' skeletons, the dead of countless generations, undisturbed for millions of years. Bravestarr had discovered the bronchosaur graveyard. Lying quietly in the semi-darkness, Bravestarr whispered,
"Ears of the wolf."
Immediately, his hearing was extended far beyond the human range.
Soon,
Tex Hex was saying,
Stampede's power grows, feeding on the accumulated evil of a million years.
Bravestarr didn't wait to hear more. Setting his neutralaser to maximum power, he poured a concentrated stream of neutralaser beams at the roof of the Cave of Skulls. The rock shuddered, then split ominously, and the whole roof appeared to crash down on Tex Hex. Only the strength of the bear enabled Bravestarr to dig his way to safety back along the tunnel. Rescuing the half-conscious Abu, he made his way back to the surface. As Abu revived, 3030 listened to Bravestarr's incredible tale.
Stampede and Tex Hex would have become an unstoppable force of evil,
said Bravestarr.
And they wouldn't have just settled for New Texas.
And Tex Hex is finished?
Asked 3030. Bravestarr gazed up into the heavens.
Who knows, 3030? Who knows?